Let's talk about Macauley Jones. Obviously the son of Brad Jones. Macca is a good guy, good ambassador for the sport. Macca is not afraid to say what he thinks about parody about and stuff like that. I remember at one point in the year he said straight line speed isn't an issue for Ford. And I thought, maybe it's because your Camaro isn't that great. He's had 3 top 10s this year. It's the best he's had in his career. He was a good co-driver. It's not like he doesn't deserve his spot on the grid. It's that maybe the team can't deliver him an Andre Heimgartner car. And the belief is that all the cars are equal, right? That's what the team has apparently said. There are allegations that Brad has said, all 4 cars are the same. Everybody gets the same gear. This is just what the results are. He said in his video, like in one of the videos, he said, yeah, this is what we're expecting. And I thought, really? You're expecting the cars to be in different positions in the track? Like, Macca frequently battles with Jack Smith. It's his 5th year in the championship. He's the 3rd car. Is that a reason why the results haven't been as good as anyone else? Macca has more experience than Bryce Forward. How come Bryce is getting better results than Macca? That's my question. And that's probably a lot of people's questions. Like, if you got one guy who's getting the same results and everyone's been given the same equipment and the same opportunity, how come the newer guy is doing better? Is it because Bryce Forward is a 2019 champion of Super 2 and Macca's not? Is that what it is? And that Macca was better than Jack Smith in Super 2 and therefore that's where the pecking order is? That they're just not as talented? When Blanchard Racing Team was started, I wondered if Macca might get the opportunity to drive that car and be the driver for that team. It did not end up that way, and it was interesting because I remember reading an article from where Tim Blanchard said, hey look, Macca's like the best driver available. Was that actually the case? Obviously a significant factor in Macca getting the nod for 2019. Tim Blanchard was retiring, and of all the drivers that he knew, he had direct contact with Macauley Jones because Macca had been Nick Percat's co-driver for the last 2 years. Was he Tim's co-driver in 2016? I think he was. So, yeah, Macca had access to Tim Blanchard, and Tim believed that Macca was ready. And it certainly seemed like Macca was ready. He wasn't going to win the championship in Super 2, so what's up with that? Is it that the Brad Jones Racing cars in Super 2 aren't as good as the title-winning cars of other teams? And in the same situation, you go to the main game, Brad Jones Racing, do you expect them to win a championship? You don't. It would be very unexpected. You see a team like Erebus come through, and I think it's because they've got a guy like Barry Ryan. Cuts through the bullshit. I think that's why it's like that. It's a different situation. You have... Brad owns his own team, right? It's his family team. That's a different situation to you've got some rich people who own a race team and you've got some experienced operator managing it with Erebus. You can't compare. Brad spends his own money to run this team. So this is a situation that works for the team, and you've got Macca in there, and Macca's a good part of it, right? Macca's not slow. Macca's decently fast. Macca has his moments. He will qualify in the top 10 on occasion. A bit rare, but it happens. He can race well. He'll be in there. Is it fair to question why? Is it fair to question why it's like that? Because Macca wants to go racing. Brad likes going racing. And they're sort of stuck, right? They're sort of stuck where Macca's probably not going to come 15th in the championship. It'll be a bit unexpected. He did, in 2022, break through for his first proper top 10, right? He was good in that 2022 Albert Park. He's been good this year as well, with an even playing ground. Macca is a good driver. Look at Darwin, right? Darwin throws up a crazy race every now and then. But Macca's not bad. On a good day, Macca can sneak into the top 10. It doesn't always happen. I don't think it's all that common to see Macca stuffing up in the middle of a race. But I could be wrong. And aside from performance and aside from management of the team and everything, how good is the Pizza Hut car? Just ignoring everything, it's a great looking race car, right? The SET car and the Pizza Hut car look very similar with the base livery, with the red and white. But they had the gold car at Perth, right? And they had like the funky looking car at Darwin, and they've had like a bunch of liveries, and it's just been good to look at. And I like a team that switches it up constantly. Like, I didn't watch the sport when the Pepsi Max car was going with Greg Murphy, but it's good to have a title sponsor like Penrite. Penrite switches the livery every now and then. Sometimes they just nail it. And that's the same thing with Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut have been great to have. And another point about Brad Jones Racing is they've got 4 full-time sponsors on all 4 cars. It is the most financially stable BJR have been. So when Brad talks about how much stuff costs, he's like, yeah, this is like a $30,000 front bar or something. And you go, what the frick? How the hell are you supposed to repair that? It costs $30,000. You just have to repair it, because otherwise you're just forking out a huge amount of money for no reason. They've just ended up in this position where it was in 2020 that Todd Hazelwood and Nick Percat had constantly changing sponsors all the time. You wonder if that's good, but maybe the reason they had it is because they couldn't do multiple rounds, or because they couldn't do it. Maybe it's cheaper across the board if you sponsor for a full year versus if you sponsor a few individual rounds. But that might not be the case. It might be cheaper. And if you do a whole year, you get the title sponsor. Like, you've got, Pizza Hut Racing, SCG Logistics Racing, R&J Batteries Racing, Middy's Electrical Racing. It's ended up pretty good. 2022, Macca had rotating sponsors all the time. He had the Pizza Hut car, he had the Tools.com car. He had basically a bunch of those sponsors that Todd Hazelwood had in 2021. Macca had in 22. Because in 22, Bryce rocks up and he's got Middy's. And so Middy's are on the car the whole year. So all those sponsors who are interested in sponsoring a car, they can't sponsor Bryce Fullwood. They can sponsor Macauley Jones. So that's what they do. And then this year, Pizza Hut come in, they go, you know what, we're going to do it. We're going to go all in, full beans. And this year I'm like, maybe I'll go to a Pizza Hut, but maybe I won't. With Brad Jones Racing, with Macauley Jones, it is what it is. And I don't think it's entirely fair to judge harshly and say, this guy sucks, get rid of him. That guy sucks, get rid of him. Because you cannot understand from the outside what's going on the inside. This is a situation that works, so why are you knocking it? And besides, this year I think Macauley Jones has done pretty decently. He's not too bad.